Why would a stranger sneak into my pool at dawn, armed with bath bombs and a selfie stick, claiming my backyard was her personal community resort? That's the question I was wrestling with when I found Lisa, a woman I'd never met, lounging half-naked in my brand-new lap pool, sipping cheap wine from a box and preaching about how water spiritually belongs to everyone. I'm a retired Navy guy, a farmer who's weathered Texas droughts and ornery livestock for decades. My name's Tom, and all I wanted was a quiet corner of my 6-acre plot to float with an iced tea and some Johnny Cash on low. Instead, I got a suburban dictator named Lisa, and she turned my summer into a war I never signed up for. It started innocently enough. A few weeks earlier, I'd finished building my dream retirement pool behind the barn. Nothing fancy, no neon tiles or DVYing boards, just a clean, blue rectangle framed by citrus trees and a tall privacy fence. I'd earned it after years of sweat and sacrifice, and I kept it under wraps. Only my buddy Jake and my goat, Biscuit, knew about it. The gate had a keypad lock, and I planned to keep it that way. This was my sanctuary, not a neighborhood splash pad. Then Lisa showed up. It was a lazy Saturday when I spotted her at my gate, clipboard in hand, wearing sunglasses so big they could have doubled as hubcaps. She was tapping a pen against her lips like she was auditing my life. I figured she was lost, maybe looking for a neighbor. Before I could say a word, she peered through the fence and said, "Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm with the HOA, and we need to discuss your pool." I told her straight, I'm not in the HOA. My land's zoned agricultural, owned outright. She blinked like I just recited poetry in Klingon, then gave a fake chuckle. "Well, all land's part of the community, right? Especially water." I laughed, thinking it was a joke. It wasn't. Lisa launched into a speech about why my pools should be shared, community health, and VY environmental, VY BES, neighborhood morale, you name it. I cut her off. "It's private. Stay off my land." 2 days later, a laminated flyer was zip-tied to my gate titled, "Pool Access for Neighbors." It had a schedule: Tuesday mornings for Senior Splash, Thursday nights for Wine and Float. I ripped it down, figuring that was the end. Nope. Friday, I came home to find 4 women in floppy hats and floaties sipping sodas at my gate, asking how to get in. One waved and said, "Lisa said we could come early." That's when I knew this wasn't a nuisance. It was an invasion. I politely sent them packing and added a second lock to the gate. That night, I installed motion cameras and called Jake to vent. He roared with laughter. "Tom, you're in a suburban war now. Good luck." Things got weirder fast. The next morning, Lisa handed me a fake HOA citation over the fence, claiming I owed DULA $500 for running an unsanctioned aquatic facility. The paper looked legit at first, but it had typos, a fake number, and was signed in glittery purple pen. I asked if this was a prank. She stared, dead serious, and said, "Ignore this, and I'll have to involve the community board." I reminded her I wasn't in her HOA and warned her about trespassing. She claimed she was just delivering notices for shared space. I mentioned Biscuit, who loves headbutting anyone wearing too much perfume. She didn't laugh. Later, my cameras caught her leaning over the fence, snapping photos of the pool and scanning the keypad with a flashlight. I posted the footage on my dusty old Facebook with the caption, "When the HOA meets the farm." It got a flood of laughing emojis and comments like, "Oh no, not Lisa!" from locals. That gave me an idea. I made a wooden sign for the fence. "Not a community pool. Trespassers will meet goat." Jake nearly choked laughing when he saw it. But Lisa didn't quit. She handed out new flyers, now promising a community wellness retreat at a local pool on community-adjacent land. That's what she called my yard. I confronted her, and she stood there, one hand on her hip, sunglasses reflecting the sky, saying, "Water is life. You can't gatekeep life." I shut the gate in her face. That night, I realized polite words wouldn't stop someone who thought fake authority let her rewrite reality. I called Sarah, a retired lawyer I'd served with, who knew land law like the back of her hand. I explained everything, and she asked, "You're zoned agricultural, right?" I said, "Yeah." She replied, "Lisa's about to regret this." The next day, a thick envelope was taped to my gate, sealed with a fake HOA logo. Inside were 3 pages of nonsense. A violation summary for not sharing my pool, a warning of due law 1,000 in fines, and a calendar with themed swim days, listing Lisa as pool access coordinator. I laughed so hard I nearly spilled my coffee. This woman was delusional, inventing titles and rules like she ran the county. Jake stopped by with goat feed and a 6-pack, already hearing through his cousin that Lisa was telling folks I'd agreed to open the pool. He laughed, but I didn't. She was lying publicly now, painting me as the bad guy. I printed my own flyers. "This pool is private property. Not affiliated with any HOA. Trespassers will be prosecuted." I added a photo of Biscuit for flair, and posted them around the neighborhood. It didn't stop her. A woman knocked on my door, cooler in hand, saying she was there for the community float session. I told her Lisa lied. She apologized and left, mortified. Then Lisa crossed the line. I caught her inside my property with 3 friends, lounging by the pool like it was a resort, sipping wine coolers. I didn't yell. I locked the gate from the outside and called the sheriff. They arrived in 20 minutes. I showed them the footage, flyers, and fake citations. The deputies were amused but firm. One told Lisa, "This is private agricultural land. You're trespassing." She claimed she had verbal permission and rambled about the neighborhood collective. They shut her down and gave her a written warning. She left, red-faced and fuming. The next morning, my gate's keypad was scratched, with an empty wine bottle and deflated floaties nearby. I upgraded to motion lights, a secondary latch, and another camera. Sarah called back, saying I had strong legal protections. That evening, a neighbor, Ed, brought me one of Lisa's latest flyers. She was now soliciting donations for shared resources, including my pool, with a PayPal link. Ed didn't buy her nonsense and warned me. I thanked him, sensing the tide might be turning. But Lisa doubled down. One night, my cameras caught her in pajamas, using a duct-taped broomstick to lift the gate latch. She took a selfie by the pool and left. Then, on a Sunday, a crowd showed up with beach bags and an inflatable flamingo, expecting a community splash mixer. I showed them the legal signs and told them Lisa misled them. Some admitted she'd claimed I was an HOA member in spirit. I sent them away, flamingo and all. That night, I posted online with photos of the flyers and footage, writing, "This pool is private. Any further trespassing will face legal action." The post blew up, with locals sharing their own Lisa horror stories. At 2 a.m., my cameras caught her again, slipping under the gate and dumping bath bombs into the pool. By morning, the water was foamy and clouded. I had to drain it, costing me a day and a chunk of change. This wasn't just trespassing, it was sabotage. I met Sarah at the diner, handing her a folder with every flyer, photo, and VY Dale. She whistled and said Lisa's entitlement was aggressively dumb. We reclassified the pool as a livestock hydration unit, protected by state law. The county approved it after an inspector, amused by Biscuit lounging nearby, stamped the forms. I sent Lisa a certified cease and desist letter with proof of her trespassing. She crumpled it in her driveway, furious but silent. Lisa tried one last stunt, a community celebration day, outside my fence, complete with a slide and a kiddie pool labeled overflow zone. I filmed it all and called the sheriff, reporting an unauthorized assembly. The deputy gave them 15 minutes to leave, dismissing Lisa's fake community charter. After they cleared out, I posted the footage online captioned, "This is my land. I'm pursuing legal action." The post went viral locally, and neighbors admitted they'd been bullied by Lisa too. Sarah and I filed a formal complaint with VY Deos, flyers, and a protective order request. I added thorny bushes, gravel, an emotion-triggered sprinkler to my fence. One night, the sprinkler caught Lisa sneaking in. She ran off, soaked and flailing. The next day, Ed told me she'd lost credibility, even with the HOA board. A for sale sign appeared in her yard soon after, a quiet surrender. But Lisa wasn't done. Her lawyer sent a cease and desist letter, accusing me of harassment. Sarah laughed it off and filed a counterclaim for trespassing, vandalism, and fraud. In court, our VY Deo EVY Denke Lisa's broomstick, bath bombs, and pool parties left her lawyer speechless. The judge issued a no-contact order, fined Lisa, and ordered restitution. She left the courtroom deflated. Lisa moved out a week later. New neighbors, a young couple, respected my boundaries. I built a deck by the pool with a sign, Lisa Free Zone. No trespassers, no flamingos. Locals loved it. A thank you card and gift card from neighbors showed I'd fought for more than just my land. I'd given a voice to others. Biscuit got a shaded cabana, strutting like the hero he was. This wasn't about a pool. It was about standing firm when someone tries to bully you off your own ground. Lisa thought she could rewrite reality with flyers and ego. But the law, the land, and a stubborn farmer with a goat proved her wrong. Peace isn't free, it's earned, one quiet ripple at a time.